All right, let's go. Week of March 26. My name is Brian. I'm a coach and mentor for the Hunters Group. We're gonna go over some markets. We're gonna go over some ideas. Actually, I want to explain some things for everyone. First, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't shared this channel, go ahead and do so. It's free. I'm gonna talk about time frames. I've been asked about time frames. What's the significance? The significance of time frames, it's not that hard. It just depends on what you're trying to get out of the market. So the time frame for the charts, it tells us how many minutes or hours you had to wait to see if the idea works. Okay? So like this, it's a daily time frame. What am I gonna expect from the market? So it just gives you a better expectation. I'm expecting for Ethereum to go here, okay? To go here, and then at some point go upwards from here. Okay? Now, in a daily time frame, how long would it take for that idea to actually become reality? Daily time frame, meaning 1 day movement of candles. So it could take 1 day at least to show me if this idea is working. If it's not working, it's gonna tell me that I'm wrong. And it's also probably going to take a day. It just depends on your strategy. Lower time frames will give you a faster result. So like for instance, if I didn't see this and we captured it this morning, I would say that this idea would have been good. Not that. I would say this idea would have been good. Long position here to go up here. So in reality, that's a 15-minute time frame, meaning I should be seeing results after it gets triggered within 15 minutes. And it's already doing that. So this got triggered, it's going up, a 1-to-1. That's already within the 15-minute candle. This candle has not closed yet. And once it closes, it's going to give me a better picture of what's happening. And that's within 15 minutes. Lower time frames, of course, would give you the same result, just a faster reaction. Okay, a faster reaction from the market. So it depends on what type of trader you are. Are you an intraday trader? Are you a scalper? Are you a swing trader? Are you a long-term trader? No, all of those differ. Okay, perception-wise, if I say I'm an intraday trader, I'm in and out of a trade within the day. Some people say intraday traders, or actually, as a swing trader, some of my accounts are swing traders. Um, Set up so it's an entry 1 day and probably gonna last days to weeks. Um, Scalpers, minute time frames, 2 minutes, and then targets of 0.5 to 1 as far as reward to risk. So that's the significance of time frames. If you have any questions, put it on the comments, send me a message, or send one of the coaches a message, and they can answer those questions. Now let's go over some items for BTC. Okay. Um, Crypto, Forex, and US stocks. All right. So, what has crypto done for us? Nothing. Nothing as of March 18. Okay, this is a bull flag. Okay, pattern-wise, this is a bull flag for BTC. That's a flag. Okay, that's a flagpole. That's a flagpole. Um, this became the flag. Okay, and then moved up, became the flag. So what does that tell me? That tells me there's buying confidence in Bitcoin right now. But what's a better term for that? What's the scenarios that could form? Because hindi naman, it's not just one scenario, it's multiple scenarios from the market that's gonna tell you what to do next. If I'm looking at this flag right here, okay, if I'm only looking at that flag, what it tells me is it could go up and breach highs. Okay, breach the highs, break the highs. If I'm looking at this section right here, this is telling me that Bitcoin is primed to drop and then bounce. Okay, this section right here. If I'm looking at this section, I'm looking at a third scenario where it could range like crazy again. Crypto in itself is right now being questioned, especially in the US territories. They're trying to push it out. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. They filed some suit against Coinbase, one of the biggest exchanges for crypto here in the US. So that's something to consider. But again, it's a market. We're just keeping neutral. We're keeping to the charts. That's more fundamentals. So Bitcoin, what can we expect for Bitcoin to do? I'm still partial to it moving below 18,400. Okay, I'm still at that section. I told you guys it might go into a fake, and it did. It just didn't go to that lower section that I'm expecting for it to go into a fake and then blast out. Right now, Bitcoin is testing this high time frame resistance area, and we've talked about this since June. Okay, since June, I mentioned this area. That's why yung climb ng crypto, yung climb ng Bitcoin, it's stopped. Because right now, it's hitting the resistance, it's hitting some sellers when it was climbing like crazy. So what am I expecting? If it drops, it makes sense for it to drop because it's hitting the sellers and it's gonna exhaust some buyers. At the same time, there's also that side backflip argument that it's gonna exhaust the sellers and probably hit this section of buying. I'm sorry, so it's gonna exhaust the sellers and probably hit the next section of selling, meaning it's gonna go up. Okay, so this is sideways. There's not real direction for us to look into in the higher time frame, just more speculative and more idea. Where am I willing to buy and where am I willing to sell? I'm willing to sell here around 29,000, 29,800 and above. Okay, 29,800 and above. I'm not really willing to be a seller in a daily time frame anywhere below those. And I'm saying that time frame because in a lower time frame, I can probably make out a trade in that lower time frame. Well, buying would be below 25,200. Lower time frame, 1 hour time frame, I like this area. So if you don't know my style of trading, my style is retracement trading. My style is price action. My basis is price action, and I'm gonna get in a trade where the price would most likely react. 1 hour time frame, not that clear. I like that area though. Lower time frame, not any better. So Bitcoin, I'm gonna try and stay away from this for the week until I see a breakout. So what am I looking for? A breakout below this low and above this high. So wherever that breakout will tell me kung ano yung direction for the week of the trading or for that day of the breakout. If it breaks out low, I can most likely find a trap. So this section right here becomes a trap. This is an area over area. Okay, that becomes a trap. It's gonna bounce somewhere around there and it's gonna bring that back up here. But if it drops below this section, I'm a willing shorter at that point. I'm gonna be a willing bias short at that point. If it does the opposite, then I'm gonna be a willing buyer at that point. I just need it to retrace. So those price points, 28881.0 and 26590.0. Next is Ethereum. Same with Ethereum. The same with Ethereum. Okay, it is consolidating. There's basically there's a balance between buyers and sellers. So there's no big move until exhaustion happens. Ethereum actually hit a supply area for the daily time frame and then it bounced down from there. So when it did that, it's proving that there are sellers in this area. Unfortunately, it already proved it. The next time it goes through that area, it's there's a higher probability that it's gonna go and get through that area easier. We're also hitting supply for Ethereum. There is definitely a bull trap for Ethereum above 2217.87. Now, am I saying that it's going to go up there? I'm saying that if it goes up there, then I'm a willing shorter on a daily time frame. I can just refine it because that's a big area of risk. So, if it goes up there, it could potentially drop. Okay. The same with BTC. I'm still looking for Ethereum to drop below 1354.40. This actually triggered the fake that I was expecting from Bitcoin, and see how price reacts after going in this section and then just taking off, buying, and respecting this section of a trap. That's a wick over wick. Okay, that's a wick over wick. Pagdating sa patterns, or when you look at price rotation or price movement, that's a wick over wick. That means there's sellers in there, and then those sellers became invalidated with the strength of buying being strong at that area. Lower time frame, you'll most likely see that. Lower time frame, that's the wick over wick. Maybe a higher time frame than the 1 hour time frame. Not clear. So that's gonna be a lower time frame. I'm not gonna probe into that too much because that might take a while. That's gonna take more time than I should. As much as possible, I try and keep the time that I do the recaps on a shorter version. Ethereum loves to wick, so I'm a willing buyer here. 1597.29 to start. This is a wick over wick that has strength, that broke at least two areas and also a flip zone. This was a selling area before, now a buying area. So that's a flip zone. Now, if I'm shorting Ethereum, I'm not really a willing shorter for Ethereum. The reason behind that is the still being attempted to be proven uptrend since June. Okay, I've mentioned this over and over again. It's trying to prove this uptrend right here. So for Ethereum to prove the uptrend true, it needs to breach above 2030.00. And for better strength, I hope it closes above 2030. But again, that bull trap is right there. And then it should not break below 1005. It did not break below 1005, and it's now trying to get back up. For Ethereum to have tested this trend, it needed to go below 1277, and it did. All right. Now, BNB. BNB is more sideways. Okay. This is what I don't like about BNB. If it doesn't close above its breakpoint, this is the high that it needed to break to prove an uptrend. When it closes with just wicks, it just goes crazy drops. It just does those crazy drops, and I don't like that. Pero it's a market behavior that we can definitely capitalize on. So BNB, what's the difference between BTC, Ethereum, and BNB? BNB actually shows strength in selling. Okay, the reason behind that is simple. Like BTC, I'm okay to short if it breaks this range and closes below it. 325.20, did it do that? Yes, it did. On March 22, it closed below that. So where am I a bias of BNB? I'm a bias of it going down until it proves me wrong. So every time it goes to this area, which was a balance of buying and selling, I'm okay finding a short area to go with the flow. Here's the unfortunate part for BNB. This is all buying. Okay, to be more precise, I'm more interested in buying in this area, 308.67. This is more of a body area of all this area. The reason behind that is because all of this is selling. Okay, If buying is stronger above this area, it should have not dropped and went back to this area. But this area is the one that held all the buying. So I'm an interested buyer at below 308.67. I'm an interested shorter every time it goes above 325.20. As far as a retrace goes, right here. And it already triggered, so I'm late. So that would have been the short idea for this. The second one is this right here. And I'm probably more impartial here up above. So in a 15-minute time frame, I'm more interested in this area, 334.58. I would have been interested dito right here, which would have already given us a 3 to 1 if it triggered before I saw it, but unfortunately it triggered after I saw it, so I'm sorry. Now let's go over sorry, shorting at 334.58. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that area. Now let's go over ForEx. If you're interested in ForEx, this has not changed in analysis. So shorting above 1.094464 Euro USD. Anything below that is a good area to buy as long as it's below 1.07600. Okay. The reason behind that is simple. That's where the breakout happened. So the equilibrium between buyers and sellers, that's where the proof is that buyers won. Okay. If there's equilibrium, if there's a balance between buyers and sellers, there should not be a breakout and a close above that breakout section. This was an equilibrium, or just there's buyers and sellers in that section. See how it's ranging and how it broke? That's the proof. I still want below 1.03946. Okay. 1 hour time frame would tell me that we're late again. Okay. We're late again. And I'm really not interested in shorting this right now. This is a good segment, a strong drop segment. In an hour time frame for the current session, I'm not interested in shorting it from that position. I want it to break this area first, and then I'll be a willing shorter. All right, I'll move on. It's not giving me a clear picture. So USDJPY dropped from that selling area. Very nice. Now it's hitting that buying area. It did a 1-to-1 in that buying area. Now I'm still waiting at 126.320. If you were in this trade, your stop should be above this pivot right here. 133.004. If you're shorting, you at least have a 2-to-1. You should have taken profits, partial profits, and then you should be in good for the rest of the week, or since March 8th, you should be in good positions. Let's see. GBPUSD. See that balance of buying and selling? So there's nothing to do in GBPUSD. EURUSD. I've been liking this market. Although it's not giving me a lot of entries, it's definitely consolidating. This is a trap. Okay, in the daily time frame, 137.062, that's a trap area where it potentially could drop in and then bounce up again, giving us a 2-to-1 to 5-to-1, depending on how it goes in. Now, US markets. I'm accumulating stocks in the US markets. The reason behind that is simple. Everything has been dropped. Okay? Everything price-wise has been dropped. So, when do you buy? Buy low, you sell high. Okay? You don't buy when they're saying it's high, it's good, it's up there. You buy low and then you sell high. So, let's go over FANG. FANG is Facebook, which is now Meta. I'm interested to buy that below 151.12. It has not dropped in there yet. All right. And my first target would be 290.85. I personally don't like shorting stocks. The reason behind that is because some stocks are just hard to borrow, and that's just too much work for me. that's the lazy part of it. I want it to drop below 160. So 151.12 would be my first area of buying. The reason behind that is simple. There's a gap right here that it could fill. I'm not seeing anything clearer than that at the moment. If I see more strength, if Meta could take this selling section out, I'm a willing buyer at this area. So my price moves depending on how the markets move. So FANG, Amazon is next, and Apple. Okay, Amazon hit the buy area below $90. So if you're in this trade, just be mindful and just be careful. My first target here would be 105. Okay, my first target is 105, just below this wick right here. And for me personally, this is one of my swing accounts. So I'm not gonna take off my my positions. I am going to move my stop loss. So my stop loss would keep on moving depending on how the market goes. I personally have my stop loss trigger to move once it hits 105. Apple. Apple strength. Very nice. Needed to drop. Okay, I don't want to buy right now. It's high. It's on the high side. So I want to buy here in this cluster right here, I am aware of this area right here above. So that's the target area just below that. So 168 or 167. First buying section right here at 150, 54, 47. So I'm okay buying that at 150. Just being stingy at this time. So buyer here at 150, a buyer at 136. Apple moves pretty slow, so I'm not expecting that to happen anytime soon unless something catastrophic happens. Netflix has proven me right with this selling section at 377.31. Not a fan of the company because of what they're putting up as content, but if I'm neutral with the markets, I say Netflix is a good buy at 265.99, so 270. I'm sorry, 266. And again at 249.92, so 250. Okay, just rounding up. Tesla, I'm waiting for it at below 150. Okay, I'm sorry. That's Google is the last. Okay, FANG. Google. 94.36 is a good area of buying. If you're really aggressive, you can go ahead and place an order at 101.75. This is not a recommendation. This is me talking to myself. If you're really aggressive, you want a position in Google, it's 101.75. That's the first buying section. Second buying section is 94.36. Third buying section is 91.23. Actually, I'm not willing to buy there anymore. Third buying section is below $80, which is 75.59. I was waiting. that was my waiting area. All right, I'm looking at NEO. I'm looking at RIBN. NEO is an electric company. I just want some electric companies in my portfolio, really. There's no reversal yet, so I'm okay to buy NEO if it can break past this and close above 9.70. If it does that, then I'm willing to start looking where to buy. RIBN, the same picture. I need it to break above 15.26. If I'm really aggressive, I'm okay if it breaks above 14.11, and then start looking for it to retrace and buy then. I'm not a big fan of breakout trading. Okay, I have to say I'm not a big fan of breakout trading because my percentages for breakout trading is not that good. My stop loss becomes higher, and it just plays with my emotions. All right, that's it for now. That's where I'm gonna leave this session. If you have any questions, again, put it in the comments. If this helps you, go ahead and share it. It might help other people too. All right, for this week, check out Forex Factory for any red folders, for any reports that might affect volatility. And again, for this week, green trades.